Are we ready?
Oh, all goods.
All good?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. It is July, oh goodness, 16th of 2026, and you have joined us on the Detox Diaries. I'm Dodie Dietz, your host, and I'm excited tonight to be co-hosting with Claudia, and we have a special guest, Rita. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started detoxing over 16 years ago, doing many different styles of detoxing. It was in a box, it was guided by a natural path, everyone that I did at the beginning. So, and throughout, I haven't really gone rogue on it on my own. So, this is quite exciting. In 2020, I was introduced to Dr. Ronnie's program, which consisted of juices. We just had a little discussion about juices and my addiction to the live juices. But live juicing isn't for everyone. Live juicing takes time. It takes time to source out the products. And right now, I know there is a lot of talk about the produce in our grocery stores coming from
Mm.
different countries and carrying parasites and different things, plus all the chemicals they use to keep the bugs off of them. But we have a new way to do it with a simple shake and go system that's giving you all the nutrition at a micro dose. So I'm excited to introduce Claudia. Claudia tell us about your detox journey, Claudia, because you're much like me. You've been doing it forever.
Absolutely, Dodie. How are you? And how's everybody out there? Hello, Facebook friends. Um, I have been detoxing for since 2015, I think. And I think the greatest thing about resetting and detoxing, it's just that you can do it again. It's almost like you become, like you said, Dodie, addicted to it. People that have never done it, they cannot experience what we do every time we leave that moment of vacation to our body. Like it's
And you know what? We can't even explain it because it's something you have to feel and let happen to your own body, right?
um before when I first starting it, it was, and you call, I like how you called it last time. It was like a detox on the box. I only used to do it with literally two products, which was the fiber system. So I was learning, how to create more regularity in my system. For women, it's very difficult sometimes to be regular. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is how it feels to go to the washroom every day. So that was actually like my first experience. And then I started finding women that said, oh, I only go every 2 days, or I only go every 3 days. And it's in women mainly. And I was like, did you know you're supposed to go like a dog or like a baby? Eat, poop, eat, poop. Like, you're not supposed to hold it. But we get busy and, we're cooking and our kids, and we kind of get the little thing and we're like, oh, no, 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 hold on. I can't go to the washroom. And so for me, really, it was about the fiber system at that time, which was a long time ago. I was like, wow, this is the experience of actually being regular, and regularity brings so many good things. So then For Life kind of made a bundle, but it wasn't like a pack or anything. It was just that the second product they added was the super detox. So it was kind of like clean your colon, clean your liver. And so for me, super detox was amazing because then again, I had never done a liver cleanse. And just to know that I cannot explain it, Dodie, like you said, but it was just that I would wake up, and because the liver does so many things. Did you know that it does about 500 functions in your body? So
Oh, I
you were,
didn't know that many.
yeah, 500. And you were explaining it very well the other day. When your liver is not clean, is like vacuuming with a vacuum that has not a clean filter. So it'll still do the cleaning process because that's what livers are for. They're the detoxifying organ. But what happens when your detoxifying organ has not had maintenance, right? You were
Yeah.
explaining it so well. I remember going to and again, I'm sorry, it's just that sometimes I feel bad about women saying this about women. Maybe many women out there are not like that. But one day I went to get my regular checkup for the car, And and you work with cars, Dodie, so I don't know how good you are in cars. I think you're pretty good, but they pulled out my air conditioning filter, which I had no idea we even had a filter in the car for the air conditioning. And he pulls it out and he says, I believe this needs to be changed. And it was black. And I thought, what happens when people don't change those filters in the car, or we don't clean the filter in the vacuum? It doesn't
Or
work.
in the dryer.
Or in the dryer, or in the furnace for Canadians, right? Just anywhere. Everything has filters. So if your liver has not had the opportunity to clean filter, like to have that, then you're still going to manage living, but then you manage living waking up with that I don't know what feeling, like I don't feel like I'm optimizing my day. And for me, it was it was like, clean your colon, clean your liver. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. My body's getting optimized. And the third product that, For Life kind of put in there together was the probiotic. And I had never in my life even taken a probiotic. So I'm talking 10 years ago. And I started taking the probiotic, which is not the same we have one now, but it was just as good. And again, I think this is where we have a really good reset, which is not only the cleansing part, not only the liver part, but the restoration part. That part where we're actually taking care of that microbiome and restoring with the probiotic and the transfer factor, and just kind of making that ground where things are, populating in a fast way. So that was a long time ago. And then they finally put it in that kit. Now, before I bring our guest in, I want to give you a Dodie and public one good fact that I learned and that I loved, because obviously these are things that I was feeling, and I was running the challenges. Oh, detox challenge, July, December. I always used to do them like that. July, January. And then I started realizing that when For Life launched that full kit, and they just added a few more things that I thought, oh my gosh, no wonder they work so well. But the one thing that we had that nobody else had was the transfer factor. And so when they added that full bottle of transfer factor into restoring the microbiome, the one fact that I want everybody to remember is that as you're planting that garden with new bacteria, with your probiotic, transfer factor actually populates or helps the population of bacteria 868% better.
Wow.
Than if it didn't have transfer factor. So again, you can have a great probiotic that you're buying, the ones that you buy $100 and they put them in a freezer and everything. But what they discovered was that when you're adding the transfer factor, you actually populate faster. Number one, and by adding the prebiotic, and for those of you that don't know the difference between prebiotic and probiotic, it's very simple. Probiotic is the actual live bacteria, and the prebiotic is the food for that live bacteria. So it's almost like you're planting the seed and you're giving it a good, quality fertilizer, just to put it in like an example. So when you're combining prebiotic, probiotic, and transfer factor, it's just magic. It's like incredible, because now
Like Miracle Grow.
Yes, exactly. It's a miracle grow for your microbiome. So that was like, amazing when they launched that. And now with the new resets that we are building, the first one, 21, the 21 that now we call the 28. It was amazing. But now with our new 7, or if you choose 14-day reset, we are getting some amazing results. And you and I already gave our testimonial. So now I'm going to bring our guest up, Rita, and I'm just going to ask her a few questions. And Rita, it's so good to have you here. And we're so excited that you're part of this amazing team of coaches with our reset and feel good again. So Rita, tell us a little bit about your experience in general with resetting and doing detoxes in the past 2 years. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the new one.
Well, I started my detoxing the first time in July of 2024. I weighed 211 pounds. I did the detox again uh, in January 2025 and July 2025. And in January 2026, I did the digestion reset kit again. With those 3 detoxes, I lost about 55 pounds altogether with all 3. I just kept, every time I would detox, I would lose more. And I was basically maintaining my weight between detoxes, give or take a pound or 2. Um, so that was the first time I was ever able to lose weight and keep it off for the most part. So this time I decided I was going to do the 14-day, but I had an accident and rolled my ankle and got a sprained ankle. So I went through 7 days and I lost over 8 pounds. And so I plan to go back on it. I just wanted to give it a break because I was extremely exhausted for the first couple of days after this accident. So I felt like I needed food, so but I'm planning to do my other 7 days, maybe starting next week or in a few days, and I'm feeling a little better. But yeah, 8 pounds already. Oh, it was 8.4, I believe it was. Yeah. Um, as of the beginning of day 8. That's how I weighed in.
That's pretty amazing, Rita. And you know what? The biggest change that I have seen in you is not only weight, because we love talking about weight. I was telling a person today, in the North American market, we just love the part about weight. But I remember, Rita, when you first started and you were not in our community, um, there was one fear that you had, and it was the fear that you felt out of place in a world where you knew you had an age number, but you did not feel that age. I remember so well because you kept saying, I can't believe I'm a senior, and then I don't really feel like a senior. Like, I was like, I don't even think you're a senior because you're just still very young. And so that would, for me, it has been the biggest change, Rita, because with the weight loss or with the release of weight, a lot of great things came. And what I want you to tell me is, this, because we focus on longevity, not only on
Yes.
resetting, but we focus on how do you feel today? Like if you had not started doing your new lifestyle.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, if you had not gotten involved in any of this, how do you think you would have felt
Yes.
years later?
Of
Like,
course.
let's compare those two Ritas.
Yes. Well, weight loss, of course, is the side effect, one that we just love to have. But the thing is along with it, I feel better. I feel like my skin looks better. Um, I have more energy. Oh, and one of the biggest things is I lost big time cravings for sugar. I don't eat as much sugar as I did because I just don't crave it. It used to be I would walk into the supermarket and I'd buy some cookies and I'd buy muffins, and things, and always wanted to have that with my tea and stuff. I don't even think about that anymore. It doesn't even come to mind to buy those things. Uh, the sugar cravings, just, you know, um, and yes, I feel like my skin looks better and brighter. I just feel better all over. And I feel better too, that because losing weight also made me feel better about myself.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
there's just so many different things that this does for us. So
And you
that's,
actually became that person again because and I've seen some pictures of you, and my goodness, you look like 3 Ritas in one, right? Because of weight. But also if I see your pictures in the Air Force, you were a pretty thin person. Like, you never, your body was never meant to grow to the size that
right.
you were. And with that comes a lot of health issues and health aches, because as we carry more weight, and it happens to me, and even let's just think about your rolled ankle. If you were carrying 55 more pounds, what could have happened to your ankle?
Okay, so what happened was when I was carrying all that weight, when I would go and get my lab work done, I would be told you're pre-diabetic. One time I was told your cholesterol's creeping up. One time I was told your blood pressure is going up. You need to get it down, or we're going to put you on meds. Well, I don't want any meds. So that's what the weight was doing to me. In addition, it was causing me to be. It was very difficult to walk up and down stairs because it was just taking too much out of me. So I just got proactive. I wanted to be proactive with my health. I want to do what I need to do to keep myself healthy and not just settle. I'm not going to just settle. Oh, well, I'm just going to stay here because I can't change it. So that's the detox, the digestion reset, the current
Yeah.
reset, everything that I've been doing, and then keeping up with trying to keep a diet that's close to Dr. Ronnie's PV diet. I'll go and buy a strip of cod and put it in the oven and bake it, and I'll take part of it and put it in the refrigerator and eat part of it, and then the next day, and then I steam vegetables. I love steamed vegetables. The next time when I want to eat the rest of that fish, I put it in the steamer along with vegetables and steam it along with the vegetables, and that's how I reheat my second piece of fish. Fish and chicken and turkey. I'm doing my best to try to keep. Do I keep it perfect all the time? No, we go out
We're
and
human.
we live life. We had birthdays, we had weddings. Of course, I had to eat the cakes Gerhard made it, but sparingly. I didn't sit there and eat. I didn't have to sample every cake on the table.
That's right. That's right. That's what happens to me, Rita. It's the same thing. Like, you know what? I'll still eat, but now I'm not eating like the croissant in the morning and then the croissant in
Or
the afternoon with the coffee,
or
right?
if I did sample it, I got this little tiny piece from each
Yeah.
one. Just so, and I even took a little spoonful of the wedding cake, but I was like, that's too sweet. I took it.
Yes.
I can't
Your
eat
taste
this.
buds change. Your taste
Oh, it
buds
was
actually
way
change.
too sweet. But
Yes.
his cakes were the biggest hit anyway. um, so yeah, we live life. It doesn't mean that you can't live your life and have the parties and things like that. We went and traveled, and I was eating at hotels, and of course, I'm probably getting all kinds of processed foods and getting exposed. But I noticed that even though I was getting exposed to these things, my weight wasn't shooting up as high as it would have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I continued in between detoxes using Renuvo, Real Vita, Transfer Factor, and these are my primary go-tos. I do have collagen and essential fatty acids, but I just stay on these to help me through all that stuff. And did I gain a couple pounds? That's about it. That's all I gained on that trip, that road trip that we did for a month.
Wow.
And one time I went to Germany and lost 5 pounds
I remember. I remember.
after a
And,
det
and,
after a
and you're being a good
detox.
example to people, right? Because
So
people,
I'm getting away with stuff,
yeah,
is what I'm saying.
no,
And then just go and come back and do this liquid detox 3 to 7 days, just to do some maintenance.
it's a
That's
lifestyle.
doable.
It's a lifestyle. I believe that this detox or this reset is so much more achievable because we were working on getting people to 21 days, which again is the top of the line, is the Bentley or Rolls Royce of our, of our achievement. Like I never thought I could do something for 21 days that was just a
Yeah.
liquid diet. So to do it, it's like, wow, your body just feels incredible. However, we saw that people once and once again kept either feeling like a failure because they ate on the 7th day or on the 10th day, and they felt I failed. And that's how we created our new reset, which is like there's no failure. Even if you do 3 days and your body's resting, you've already accomplished so much by having 3 days of liquid diet. And the liquid diet just allows that body to flourish, right? Because it's not just a liquid diet. We have the probiotics in it, we have the glutamine, and I don't want to say the whole recipe, because that's what we have the community for. And that's where I want to jump into community, and maybe have Dodie jump back in before she leaves. Let's let me let me pass it on to Dodie so she can go with you and talk about why is it different than just buying a book or reading in a box, or why is community different. But I'm gonna bring Dodie in and let her finish
I'm
this
hoping
part.
my doorbell doesn't ring. So, Rita, let's talk about you've done the journey, but what was about the journey that made it so enjoyable? Because you weren't like when I did my detoxes, I had a box and or whatever, and I talked to my naturopath when I had my appointment. It's not like I could phone her up or go, oh, today I'm feeling, you know, I feel like a metal taste on my tongue, or I'm having a headache because, when we're getting rid of the sugars, you go through some changes. But we make it possible to have support. Did you use our support, Rita, quite a bit when you were?
Yes, yes, that was one of the greatest things about when I'm doing the detoxes. There's a community. I'm not alone. There's people I can go to if I have questions, and we have coaches such as myself now. Um, I feel like I didn't have to do anything alone. I always
No.
had somebody to go to.
And when you pop your question in the community, one of us has either been through it or coached somebody through the healing opportunity. We're always offering support.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. That I love
I,
the community.
yeah.
And community is what makes this work so well. In addition to the great, system and the products, the community is the third piece that just got to, support it. And that's what
And,
I love about it.
and you find more time for yourself when you're experiencing this, don't you? Like you get to
Yeah.
go have a walk or have a meditation moment or a bath. I take that time because the house is eating, or when I was down to Troy, but when the girls were here, they would go to the kitchen and I would either go to my infrared sauna or the bathtub or just for a lovely walk. I took that time for me, which I think was very important. Did you find yourself doing that?
We do get a chance to slow down a little bit, and have me time. In my case, I went ahead and went to the yoga classes that weren't the most strenuous ones. I took the easier classes,
Yeah,
so that I wouldn't overexert myself.
but
I
just get
also,
some nice flow.
yeah, I just wanted to get some flow because yoga centers and grounds and gives you just, peace and I didn't have to go out and do anything strenuous. I just took the easy classes and I have a stationary bike that I was able to take it easy and just go slow with it.
Hmm.
We do have a lake back here where I can take a
Claudia, I'm
little
going to call
walk.
you in. Sorry, I just got a doorbell.
You can take a little bit of
This
walk
is what
on the lake.
happens when you're at home.
Yeah.
It's all good. We're finishing up anyway. So thank you, everybody. We're now jumping into our last part, which is our after party. So don't leave for those that are live. And Facebook friends, we are always here Thursdays. We want to talk about resetting your system, but also about lifestyle. Now, we did talk about community, and if you want to ask us more about community, talk to the person that shared this video with you. And we're now going to jump into our after party. It's 8:29. I love hearing stories. We are going to have one for you every single week, because it's with a story and a testimonial that we actually can follow and inspire, just like Rita did when she invited her friend Rosemary, who is also changing bit by bit her lifestyle. And many people that she has brought in. So let's jump into our after party, and we want to say goodbye, Facebook friends. Let's all say goodbye,
Bye.
Rita. Bye, Facebook friends.
Thank you,
And
Rita, so much for tonight.
You're welcome.
okay.